Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 210 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello, welcome back to episode 210 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here this week. I hope that you will stay for a very long time. If you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to rock with me. I really appreciate your support, and I wouldn't be here without you. And I hope that you will stay for a very long time and bring friends. Before we get started with this week's episode, I like to be foundational and just kind of make sure I tee up why we're here. I know for some of you who've been listening before, I probably sound like a broken record, but it is very important to me to make sure that you understand that this safe space that we've created, this house, is built on two very important things, and that is clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just like to make sure that you understand that I created the Well Done Life podcast and brand because I believe in the power of women. I believe in the power of us coming together and sharing our stories because I think that there are more things that we have in common than things that divide us. And I think it's very important that we give each other space to share our stories authentically, the good, the bad, the ugly, so that we can maybe inspire each other, so that maybe we can avoid someone from making the same mistakes that we've made, and just give people the space, women, the space to be able to step into themselves fully, authentically, and not worry about being judged. Because in this space, we all want to see each other win. So for me, it's about sharing my journey authentically with you, the good, the bad, the ugly of it all, and spotlighting amazing women in the community who do great things that can help change your life. And so that's what this is all about. So welcome. And then that leads me into my second thing, my favorite thing, because I love love. I'm a sucker for love. And everything that we do in this space is always going to be rooted in love. And so for me, every week, it's really important that I share prayers with you because I think it's important that we're praying, that we are giving each other space and positive energy and support and encouragement. And I truly believe that our prayers are magnified when we pray, together. And so this week, I want to make sure that, of course, I'm praying for you to have peace. I mean, we are into the second month of the year. We started off hot. And so I pray that February is starting off well for you and your family and the ones that you love and just for everyone, because we need it. We do. We have to. And I pray that you give yourself peace. I want you to keep standing on it because it's so important, especially in the world being as crazy as it can be or as it is, that you find peace, find your center, because you need that peace so that you can have clarity about the things that you need to accomplish along the way and about who you are in your values, because it's so important in this season to stand on business about your values. Please make sure you have that prayer tight to stand on business about your values. Don't be spoon-fed. You know who you are. You know who you were raised to be. Don't ever let anyone talk you into something that is not of you. And so that kind of, I felt like a little prayer in itself. That was like a trifecta. That was like a prayer for clarity, for peace, for, moral values and compass. So just make sure you stand on business about you. That's what we're going to call that one. That's the stand on business version of the prayer. I want you to, because in these days and times, we have to. And then I'm actually going to tie it up a little bit with abundance, because I think that's an important prayer to have, because we are in the month of love and so many different things. I want you to be abundant on all levels. I want you to be surrounded in love from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. I am praying for you to have financial overflow and blessings, that your bills are paid, that you can be a blessing to other people, that you have peace in your mind as it relates to your finances. I want you to be physically well. I'm praying that you are healthy in your body. I'm also praying that you are spiritually well. I am praying that you are well in your heart, in your soul, and that you know who you are, and that you know that God loves you and He would never forsake you, and He always wants the best for you. And I pray that you are surrounded in spiritual love and blessings in all that you do. So those are my prayers for you this week. I'm very excited to be recording with you guys. I'm actually just doing the intro portion of this conversation that I'm going to share with you on Saturday, February the 1st. So yes, for those of you that heard last week's episode, it's like a double treat. And I hope you enjoyed episode 209, Finding Joy, because I really do believe that in order for us to continue to thrive, not just survive, that we have to make sure that we are prioritizing finding joy. So I hope that you are finding joy, that you found some joy, and that you're going to find even more. But this week, like I said, we are here with a brand new episode, and I am very excited because I have been talking about having Dr. Hill on for quite some time. And Dr. Hill, for those of you that may not know, is my doctor who specializes in obesity medicine. And she and I have been working together for the past few months, actually since September of 2024, on my health journey, because I'm on a health journey. I've been prioritizing weight loss as well as just being healthy on all levels. But I really would like to get to a point and from a transparent place that I really want to see what it's like to be under 200 pounds as an adult. And I know that that might sound crazy to some, but I've never really been that way. And I'm 51, almost 52 years old. And so I have decided to take the bull by the horns and really put together a concerted effort to focus on my health. And so she and I have been rocking since September the 20th, to be exact, like for transparency's sake. And it's been a journey, and it's been a beautiful journey. And I really wanted to share her because it is so important to me to advocate for building a team. Yes, I take a very team-based approach to my health. And so I go to acupuncture, I have a therapist, I have a primary care doctor, I have a gynecologist, and now I have an obesity medicine doctor, because I need a team at this level of life that I'm trying to live to help me be able to be the best version of myself. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like it's super easy. It's not. Dr. Hill will tell you as you hear our conversation. But before I kind of bring her on, I just want to make sure I say that. And I'm not saying it from a place of haughtiness. I know I'm very fortunate that I can do this. And believe me, though, it's not easy. Insurance is a mess all over. And so that's a whole nother conversation. But I just have realized that at this level, we have to advocate for ourselves. And I'm very grateful that she is someone that I can advocate with, and she will advocate for me. And she challenges me to just not settle, to be the best version of myself. And so I wanted to share her with you because I don't believe in gatekeeping. And so I really don't. And Dr. Hill also was on the panel for physical health during the Reset last year, which is the one-day event that I did in reference to for women that targets mental health, physical health, financial health, and building community, because I think that those are the key pillars to living a really successful and good life. And so I wanted to have an intimate conversation with her and have her talk to you and share some of my journey with you guys. So hopefully it's inspiring. Hopefully you'll be intrigued. Hopefully you'll learn some information and have questions answered, because we talk about it all. We do. We talk about quite a bit. We're going to get into the GLP-1s, all of it. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about really what it takes to get healthy and have a really honest conversation about how we work together. And so if you will sit back, grab a cup of tea, grab some water, relax, and enjoy. Dr. Hill will be with you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jeaudine B Hill. I am first and foremost a mother. I am a wife. And then I'm a physician. And in that order, because those aspects of my life are very important to me. And those aspects of my life, my being a wife, being a mother, make me who I am. And that's really important to me.
Yeah, I can tell. In her practice, her family is a part of it. Like her husband is here with her. I have seen pictures of her daughter. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her daughter yet, but it's very family oriented, which I love.
So I started with obesity medicine because I think I struggled with obesity all of my life. Mm-hmm. You know, I think about when you said that you were on a diet from the time you were age 10. Mm-hmm. I probably was right there with you.
Yeah, I think that was our things back then.
I think I've done everything. I've done low carb. I've done high protein. I've done cabbage soup diet. Oh, yeah. I've exercised. I've done it all. And I think part of the reason why I'm so passionate about obesity and obesity medicine is because I understand the struggle of trying to lose weight. And now I understand the science behind weight loss and weight management.
Yeah. And I think, just so I can kind of brag on her credentials, since she's not, she is board certified in obesity medicine. So that's a very rare credential that I see sometimes, that I don't see, I'll be honest, when you're dealing with other providers. And I was very fortunate to have you at my event last year, the Reset, talking. And obviously I didn't give her enough time to talk about it because it was a very hotly contested conversation once we started talking about GLP-1s. And we'll talk about that. But I wanted to have her here because I've been going to you, I think, since September, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think I started September 20th. I was actually trying to do the math in my head. And I've been with you for 4 months, and I think I've lost like 30 plus pounds.
30 plus pounds. 30 plus pounds. That's correct.
Yes. And the crazy part was, y'all, and I don't know if she'll talk about it because I have to ask her, how does she feel? When I first started with you, I was not interested in a GLP-1.
No.
And I want to know, because I think a lot of people think when they're on this journey to, obesity medicine, especially now because GLP-1s are so prevalently talked about. How did you feel when I said no?
I was okay with it because I understand the true science behind obesity. Mm-hmm. Right? So you don't have to be on a GLP-1 to lose weight. Does it make your journey a little bit easier sometimes because of the way in which the medicine works in your system? But I have quite a few patients who still continue to lose weight on my anti-inflammatory nutritional plan and following the steps and the guidelines that I gave you on your first day.
And definitely I think that's a good springboard for us to kind of start talking about the fact that you have like a plan of how we're going to lose weight, like the anti-inflammatory diet. Do you want to talk about how you actually came up with that, and why do you start patients there?
I started patients there because we actually need to do a few things in order to kind of jumpstart your weight loss. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody knows about ketosis and the keto diet, right? Okay, just eating proteins, and whether you do clean keto or dirty keto. But I needed to take it a step further, because what happens is a lot of times when you start these quote unquote GLP-1 medications, what ends up happening is a lot of people just eat less of the bad foods that they were already eating. Mm-hmm. But with our plan at JBH Weight Management, we incorporate an actual nutritional plan. Yeah. So your relationship with food changes.
Yes.
And we teach you the good things that your body actually needs in order to function. And it's not just about being in a calorie deficit. And I think that's where a lot of people get turned around with weight loss and dieting and so on and so forth. We don't call it a diet plan. We call it a nutritional plan because we want you to actually learn to eat like this for the rest of your life. We don't call it JBH weight loss. We call it JBH weight management because I need to teach you how to manage your weight throughout the rest of your life, for the rest of your life. I myself started this plan 7 years ago when I was doing, when we came up with JBH Medical. And I myself lost 46 pounds and have been able to keep off majority of that weight over the last 7 years.
Wow.
Because not only do I follow my own plan, but I also do a GLP-1.
Right.
I'm not afraid to say it. I do a GLP-1, and it works very well for me.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a problem. I have a lot of people who start off saying, okay, well, I don't want to do anything. I just want to do it naturally. And I'm okay because we have different aspects and different facets of the plan that can actually, we meet you where you are.
Yes.
And that's what's important because not everybody wants to start there.
Yeah. I didn't. I was very honest. I was like very apprehensive. And I think about it, I lost weight without it. And you were really patient with me. And like when Dr. Hill, you were talking about, how you really do teach people to eat. Like she really teaches people to eat, y'all. Like literally, I have had numerous conversations. Remember when I was in that low carb tortilla phase?
Oh, yes.
You were like, girl, if you did not find, like literally we started going through like Instacart to try to find a lower carb, like a true low carb tortilla. And I was like, see, this is what I need, because having someone work in hand with you is very different on a weight loss journey. Like I said, I've done it all. So I've done the Jenny Craig, the Weight Watchers, and you don't really get that. And I mean, granted, you get like, I think Jenny Craig, yeah, you had the food back then.
Yes.
So I would spend hundreds of dollars a week eating Jenny Craig food, and I lost weight. But you're right, it's not anything that you could manage. And so I wonder, how do you always incorporate the time to talk to your patients about food?
Well, this is where it comes down to a weight loss center,
right,
and versus an individualized, patient-centered home. And that's what JBH Boutique Care is.
Right.
We actually schedule you appropriately. So we don't double book and triple book just to get you in and out the door. We schedule your first appointment, especially when it comes to weight management or just a new patient. We block out an hour of our time to sit there and actually go through the entire plan. Why do you gain weight? What are your risk factors? And then we order labs.
Yep.
Because labs are very, very important because it can tell me what are the reversible causes or what are some of the causes that cause obesity.
Yes.
And or a challenge to you for you to help you that prevent you from losing weight. So if we don't rule out, like, you could have an underlying thyroid issue, but if we don't do the labs, how would we know that?
Right.
So I can throw everything at you, but if you have this underlying thyroid condition and we never check those labs, then that's an issue. But one of the biggest labs that we always check is a fasting insulin level.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. And I think what happens is, especially since I am double boarded in both family medicine and obesity medicine, I'm able to really and truly understand the science behind eating and the science behind obesity. And I am able to take all that knowledge and incorporate it into our program.
Yeah. And see that, like you said, having that boutique medicine, I know a lot of people, when you hear boutique medicine, I get nervous. I got nervous too, because it's like, we are trained, got that HMO, that PPO, and we're trying to make that HMO PPO work because we only have so much that we can do with it. And so you get kind of concerned about it. But I know one of the things that you mentioned at the reset too was because there were people who had those questions, like you mentioned labs. A lot of people aren't getting labs. Like, are there certain labs that you, like one or two that you would recommend, like somebody ask who may not have access, I'll be honest, initially to boutique care?
So definitely a fasting insulin, definitely a thyroid. And what we see in a lot of obese patients or people who struggle with obesity is vitamin D deficiency. So those things are very important. And the last one I would say is an A1C, because you want to see, are you pre-diabetic? Are you insulin resistant? That kind of stuff. If you start there. Now, I have a panel that's a little bit more extensive and we do go over that in your visit, in your follow-up visits. Once the labs come back, we go through all of those things and then we correct anything that needs to be corrected. And so that's how we do it at JBH.
Yeah. And I have to admit, like I said, guys, when I started, I was GLP-1 resistant, but we did have the labs and I did follow the diet. And I think, off the top of my head, I think I lost the first 13 pounds without it. Like I got through a month before I started stalling.
Right.
And even through the stall, though, you were super patient with me. Like, because I kept losing and gaining the exact same 2 pounds for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like it was just up and down, up and down, up and down.
And it wasn't anything that you were doing wrong. It was just that you just needed a little bit more help.
Yeah.
And we needed to push the envelope in terms of adding that GLP-1. And then once we started to add that GLP-1, then we started to see a little bit more progress, right? Yes. But I think what people always seem to forget is I don't necessarily have to go by the protocol of every 4 weeks we do a change.
Right.
Right. Obviously, I'm able to, when you come in, we talk about your symptoms, any side effects. That's really important. And then I'm able to make a decision right then and there. Okay, well, you know what? You're having this side effect. This is what we need to do to combat that side effect. Yeah. Or we need to decrease your medication. Or we need to say, okay, let's space you out a little bit more. And because of my training and my knowledge, I'm able to do that instead of just saying, okay, well, you're on week 3. And so you should be on 0.25 milligrams or you should be on 2.5 milligrams and we can't move you up until week for.
Right. And I think of a lot of people, because unfortunately I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I think a lot of people are, so really fixated on the percentage of the drug that they're taking. I know, like, for me, just honestly, you guys, like, I'm on 0.75 now, but it took me a minute to get to 0.75. Like, we just did it. Like,
right. There was no need for me to move you up because you continued to lose weight on the lowest dose possible.
Absolutely. And you were willing to move me back down because I had like a little stomach issue the first week. It was hard in the streets, trying to manage food and stuff. And we were talking through that. And I know we were like, okay, well, maybe I need to cut back on some of my protein shakes because, y'all, I'm the person who doesn't like to eat. I can live off of protein shakes and protein bars. But my belly is like, no, don't do that. And Dr. Hill is like, don't do that either. Whole food.
Yes, we would prefer you to get your nutrition from food rather than just protein shakes. Because what people don't understand is that some of these commercial protein shakes, they're not meal replacements. They don't have the amino acids and the medium chain fatty acids that we need in order to survive.
Yes, but I'll be honest, those protein coffees, protein matchas, yes, they make me feel good. But I agree, they're not food. And so, yes, that she's teaching me. So I'm telling y'all the truth. Like, this is what our conversations are like when we meet every week.
And you're not the exception. We do that with everybody.
Right. And
we love it. Yeah. We love it. So we don't even see it as a job. We see it as we're teaching.
Yes.
And we're educating, right? We're educators here at JBH Medical. And that's really important because then now you will look at your nutritional labels a little bit more differently, a little bit more closely. Everybody thinks it's about a calorie deficit, but I always use this one example. 100 calories of broccoli is not equivalent to a 100-calorie cookie. No. They're both the same calorie, but what ends up happening is because of all the fiber in the broccoli is much more healthier for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I know, but the 100-calorie cookie does sound good.
It does sound good. But when we're trying to eat better and live longer and live a healthier life, we might want to go with the broccoli a little bit. Now, I'm not saying, and the funny thing is, a lot of people say, well, am I never going to be able to eat this way? Am I never going to have a piece of cake? Am I never going to be able to have a cookie? No, but once you change your relationship with food, we teach you how to eat respectfully.
Yeah.
So you can have once in a while, special occasions, you can have something, and then we know how to then process it better, what to mix it with, or what to combine it with, right?
Yes.
And how to get the weight off. I have people who go on vacation and actually lose weight.
Yes.
Or as soon as they come back from vacation, they know exactly what they need to do, and the weight comes off. So you're not so neurotic about, oh my God, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. We change the way you think about food.
And I truly appreciate it because, Dr. Hill, you probably will laugh. Remember when we went to that conference?
Yes.
The women's conference here. I was telling you guys about on menopause, and I had one of those like small desserts.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, it was like literally the size of one of those desserts at Seasons 52. Child, I probably worried this woman to death. I was like so panic stricken about eating it. And I'm going to be honest, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm really glad I got on a GLP-1, because the food noise, the fears, my own personal limiting behaviors and fears were driving me insane.
Yes.
Insane.
But that's what it does. They're doing a lot more research now to show that it's possible that it's going to be used in drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sugar addiction, right? Because one of the things that the GLP-1s do is not only does it make you stay fuller longer, but it works on the satiety center in your brain, and it helps to make you feel satisfied. So it does actually cut your cravings, right? Yeah. And if you were one who was like a sweet tooth, and after every meal you had to have something sweet, 95% of my patients will say, I could look at dessert and say, if I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. Or if you do have it, just have a tiny bit instead of eating the whole thing, and you're satisfied.
Yes. And it is scary because I have been that person. That's what I love. I love sweets.
I've been that person all my life too.
Yeah.
And I would walk by a piece of chocolate cake and I have to have it. And I'm like, okay, well, if I have it, if I want a little bite, fine. If not, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world that I have to have something sweet right after I eat. I'm not like that anymore. Or I don't have that mid-afternoon slump.
Yep.
Where you're just exhausted because you had a very carbohydrate-rich lunch. Like, just by eating this way, my body actually I can tell when I don't eat well because my joints start to hurt, inflammation.
Yeah.
I start to get swelling in my hands and my fingers.
Yeah.
And I just feel my stomach starts to gurgle and just unable to process this. And to me, food isn't worth all those side effects anymore.
And see, yes. And that's how we started. But I was still in the phase where food was worth it back then. To me, when I first started, I was just like, I remember this one time I came in, I was like, I want a Philly cheesesteak so bad.
And what did I tell you? Have it.
Yes. She told me I could have it, but make sure I have it in the morning. Make sure I have like protein first, not a lot of filler. Like, we worked it out.
Take off half the bread.
And I was like, I'm going to put it on a low carb pita. Like, we talk like this. And that's like one of the things that I love about you, because we have like a partnership. And I feel like when you commit to work with you, it's a partnership.
And I think it should be a partnership. And if your doctor's not listening to you, or your nurse practitioner is not, if your provider is not listening to you, then you need to find someplace else to go. The other thing is, I think, especially with the use of these GLP-1s, if your office that you're going to does not have a body composition scale.
Yes.
A real body impedance scale, bioimpedance scale, then you need to go somewhere else, because of what we have seen. These GLP-1s have such a bad rap for excessive muscle mass loss, right? Because we do know with any kind of weight loss, you're going to have fat mass loss, but you're also going to have muscle mass loss. What we want that ratio, we don't want you to have, we would love it to be 70% fat mass and only up to 30% muscle mass loss. If your provider is not tracking that, and then not only not tracking that, but not giving you the tools to show how you can actually slow the progression of muscle mass loss, you need to find someplace else.
Yeah. And guys, that like Dr. Hill's scale is crazy. I've never seen like anything like it. Your machine.
Oh, my Sika scale.
Yes, her Sika scale scares me, because literally it snitches on me constantly. Like, if I'm not working out enough, especially in the beginning, I was not. And I was losing muscle mass like a champ. And I'll be honest, I'm perimenopausal, almost menopausal. So it's like I got a double whammy against me. But I loved how every week you were like, you're either not eating enough protein, you're not working out enough. Like,
you're not doing your resistance training. Your strength training is really important, especially when you're on these GLP-1s, because you can have muscle mass loss. I always tell people, I was like, it's not cute being skinny fat. That's not cute. We want to be toned, because we want to be able to, that muscle mass is going to keep us upright.
Right.
It's going to keep us off the floor. It's going to keep us from breaking a hip.
Yes.
Right? And keep us in our best health. So when we even branch into talking about perimenopause and menopause, we know that we have to lift weights.
Yes. We
need to do resistance training. And it's funny, because when I first started the program 7 years ago, I would have told people, cardio, 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 cardio. You just need to do cardio. Cardio is for weight loss. If you build too much, if you lift too much weight, you're going to be bulky. And through my training, that has completely changed. Like, we have evolved to realize that no, cardio is important for the cardiovascular aspect of your heart health, right? But what we really need to be focusing on is lifting heavy. Muscle mass, creating muscle mass, improving your muscle mass, resistance training. Yeah. Right. And so that's what I push now. So when we're having our weight loss and our weight management, and we're talking about nutrition, we're also talking about the functional side of it. Like, okay, you need to be building muscle. And we track that. Yes. We track that on a week-to-week basis, and we also track that on a monthly basis, because then we're like, okay, because numbers don't lie.
No, they don't. And literally, she's right. I come in every week and I get weighed and we go through it, like to the point where you could tell if I'm having enough water.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's really forcing me to be more accountable. Mm-hmm. So I love that we're talking about it because, again, I'm in perimenopause. Like so am I. Yeah. And we talk about
we talk about that journey together, right? And experiencing some of those symptoms together. And who do we need to talk to? Where do we need to go? And it's so when you come to JBH, even though your weight management, we do touch on every aspect, mind, body, and soul, right?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that, because if your mind's not right, you're not going to be in the right space to follow my plan. If your body's not right, if you're weak or something's wrong with you, you're not going to be in the space to follow the plan, right? You're not going to be successful. You are making a sacrifice coming here because it is an investment in your health and an investment in you.
Yeah. And I think that we all have to understand, especially at our ages and the level of life that we're trying to live, you have to, I hate to say it, like you have to invest in yourself. You're going to invest in vacations. You're going to invest in cars. You're going to invest bags, all those things. You are worth more than 5 Louis Vuittons, more than 5 cars, more than 5 houses. Because if you're not around, all that's going to go.
Agreed.
And we all have families. I'm the head of my family. You're a foundational pillar in your family. It's like, how do you manage all of that? And I was going to ask you, like, does your family do your plan?
My family does do my plan. Even down to my 14-year-old daughter, who's like, "Ooh, looks like it needs to be a protein-only day. I ate too much over the weekend."
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and for adolescents, we try not to put them on diets, right? But what we do is we talk about food at home, right? What other choices could we have made? What better choices could we have made instead of having, okay, you're going to go to Chick-fil-A. Okay, we get that, right? Mm-hmm. But do you have to have a large fry?
No.
Can you have a small fry? Can you do the side salad instead of the fry if you're going to have the chicken sandwich? Mm-hmm. Can you do an open face sandwich instead of having both buns? Right. These are all things so you don't feel like you're depriving yourself, because we don't want to push you to the point where you're binging because you're depriving, right? Mm-hmm. But my daughter will tell you, she's like, okay, the month of January, I'm not going to do any fries. And she did that. And she got on the scale the other day and she's like, "Mom, I lost 6 pounds by not eating fries for the whole month." And she was excited about it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. But the other thing we talk about is, let's not make every single event that we do focus around food.
Yeah.
It's a cultural thing for us. Mm-hmm. But, when you go to your events, it's always the vegetable tray that's still full.
Oh, yeah.
And all the comfort food is gone.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, one of my things I love to do with my friends is like, we love to spa and go and have a steak. Like, that is our thing.
But I don't mind you having a steak because that's protein.
I know. And
I don't mind that.
But luckily we take in good habits. Like, we will split a piece of steak together. We will split appetizers. We'll split dessert.
Great.
Everybody have a scoop. So that way it doesn't feel like, okay. And yes, when I go and visit my boyfriend, I make him eat to my plan, because I'm like, at least I know you're getting a healthy meal when I'm here. So I love that your family is very integrated in the plans with you.
They are. And I think that makes it a lot easier as well, because as everybody knows, Dr. Hill doesn't cook. You don't want my food. My husband does all the cooking in the house, and literally the only thing I'll make the vegetables.
Oh, that's nice.
And my daughter loves vegetables, so that makes it very easy.
Yeah.
There's some kids who don't want to eat any vegetables, so on and so forth. So their fiber is just, But my daughter loves vegetables, so I'm in charge of the vegetables. But Fred will and Fred cooks every single night.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So y'all don't eat out a lot.
We don't. Well, we eat
every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
But we don't eat out because we waste food.
Yeah.
Because I am of the mindset now, when I'm full, I'm full.
Yeah.
And if it's 3 bites, it's 3 bites. If it's half the plate, it's half the plate. And I have no problem with not taking it home.
Oh, and see, I am the take-home person still. But I make sure that I'll order, and I'll actually order like child sizes, depending on how I'm feeling.
Perfect.
Just so that I don't feel guilty, or like even if I get a big salad, I might not get a full because I'm going to waste it. Mm-hmm. I'll just get a half, and I'll know I'll be okay. And
right.
Yeah.
That's good, because it's portions.
You're right.
Portion control. Yeah. Right. And you're doing it, and you're not even really thinking about it.
Right.
right? Before you'd be like, oh my goodness, okay, so I ordered a Cheesecake Factory and I can literally get 5 meals out of the one plate.
And that's crazy.
It's crazy when you think about it.
But it's true, though.
It's true.
Yes, my mother is like that. She is 77, and that's how she eats.
Yes.
Like, my mom could eat 3 chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A, those chicken strips.
Right.
That's 3 days of meals for her.
Right.
Like, it's insane. Like, that's not going to be 3 days of meals for me, but that's 3 days for her.
Portion sizes have definitely increased over the last few years, you know, and that's part of our obesity epidemic in this country.
Yeah. I know. And it's unfortunate. I don't think that's ever going to go away because we, bigger, better. We like
bigger, better. But, when you go to Europe, they look at us like we're crazy. Like, okay, do you want to supersize that? They don't even have that as an option, okay? They don't have that as an option.
Yeah.
One day when I first moved to Florida 21 years ago, 22 years ago.
Okay.
I remember in residency, I pulled up to McDonald's and had a sweet tea. And one day I asked, I was like, how many carbohydrates is in this sweet tea? Mm-hmm. And I think I almost passed out. That was the last time I ever had a sweet tea. The last time, because it had so many carbohydrates in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was like, okay, so you get a sweet tea, according to you guys, and you get a meal.
Yeah. That's like, 150 carbs?
It's got to be 150 carbs easy.
Yeah.
And what do we try and keep you under? We keep you to 80 and you still lose weight, 80 grams of carbs. So when people say, oh, you're just doing keto, we practice anti-inflammatory at JBH.
Yes, and I struggle with that because I love intermittent fasting.
And you love a keto.
And I love a keto, yes. I drive her crazy with
that. Not at all.
But I go in and out of it. Yes. It's just, I think I'll be honest, it's part of that diet culture in my mind that I haven't been able to let go of completely.
But you're getting there. Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of times I tell people all the time is you're much more than the weight on the scale. You're much more than your BMI, right? Because you know how I feel about BMI anyway.
I know.
I don't feel it's a true universal measurement of how healthy you are, okay, for your height and your weight. I don't feel that it's a true universal measurement.
It's not. It is very unfair. And obviously, as Black women, we tend to have more fuller bodies, more muscular tone. And so BMI is always going to be like
a little bit higher.
High, I'm morbidly obese or whatever.
Right.
I don't care about that anymore. I just want to be healthy.
Right. And so that's what we look at. When we look at your body composition, what are we looking at? We're looking at your muscle mass, your lean muscle mass. We're looking at your skeletal muscle mass.
Yes.
You're looking at your total body water.
Yes.
We're looking at your visceral fat, which is the metabolically active fat that's around your internal organs, because that's the fat, or that the visceral fat is the one that increases your risk for heart disease, cancers, Alzheimer's, diabetes, hypertension. And so we focus on your visceral fat, getting that visceral fat down.
Yes. And you and I have worked really well on that. And I'm very fortunate that I've been able to kind of get more control over it, because you just don't think about it.
You've done very well.
Thank you.
You've done very, very well.
I really want to, because I have a lot of comorbidities, like we discussed, in my family. My mom is diabetic and she's blind from it. And it does not
retinopathy.
Right. Yeah. But it doesn't, for her family, it doesn't skip a generation.
Right.
Everybody in her family gets it. And so when they were young, we were we always would have to be watched, my sister and I, to make sure we don't get it.
Right. Absolutely.
So for me, it's very important having these times with you, because I feel like I'm finally modeling good, healthy behavior for my sister, so that we can break that generational cycle. You know?
And I think some of it is we just don't know.
Yes.
Right? I think it's the education portion of it is what's really important to me. When we were in residency, it was see one, do one, teach one.
Yes.
That was our motto. And so and that's why we don't double book, because we really want to spend that time with you so you can really understand. Now, do people slip? Absolutely. Do people gain back some of their weight? Absolutely. But we also have a maintenance plan.
Right.
So that we're constantly, so instead of you're coming in every week, right, once you get to your goal weight, or what we feel is, and we work together what your goal weight is, right? I don't come in and say everybody needs to be a size 2, because a size 2 may not be what you need, right? We want you to be healthy, right? So if your visceral fat is in the right range, if your body fat percentage is in the right range, if your muscle mass is in the right range, you may not need to get to what you think is an ideal body weight, you know?
Yeah, and I appreciate that about you, because I remember when you asked me what my goal was, and I told you I just really would like to see what it's like to be under 200 pounds as an adult. So y'all, that's like what my goal number is right now.
And we're going to get her there.
Yeah, I'm going to see. And then at that point, I'll see what it looks like, what it feels like.
Right.
And worry about it then.
Because remember, you exercise a lot.
Yes.
You have your Peloton.
I love that thing.
You love your Peloton.
I do.
So you have a lot of muscle mass. So that's good. And as what we like to do too at JBH, we like to take pictures.
Yes.
So whether or not if you give us permission, we post them. If you don't, we don't, because that's your privacy. So sometimes we keep them just for your chart. But I love to see the progression of your weight loss, right? Because you come in and first you're walking in, you're like, I can't believe I'm here. Okay, I'm glad I'm here, but I can't believe I'm here. Oh my God, nobody told me I was big. And then by the time you get that before and that after shot, that last shot, you're like, oh, it's jaw dropping. It feels amazing.
Good.
It feels amazing. I love when my patients say, Dr. Hill, you have changed my life.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so passionate about it. So my own journey, right?
Yes.
Because I know what it feels like to struggle with weight. I know what it feels like to be heavier than everybody else. I know. But I get so much energy and so much joy from seeing your success that's what fuels and drives me.
Oh, I know. I totally know that. And that's one of the reasons why I love coming here, because it always is that type of energy. And it's not just from you. It's like everybody. Like literally when I come in, other patients are here, we're supporting each other. We don't know each other from a can of paint, but it's like, girl, how you do this week? Sir, how did you do? You did all right. Or try to give some good juju when you feel like you might have ate that bad that week. It's very supportive.
And
I appreciate that about you.
And what I love about my lobby is, everybody just interacts.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a meeting. It's almost like a little coffee shop where you come and have your little, conversations with people.
Yes.
And then what happens is people become friends.
Yeah.
They really do. They're like, oh my gosh, I remember when you first came in. You look amazing.
Yes.
I have people losing 100+ pounds and they're like, I remember when you started. Oh my goodness. Like I have different people and different people have different goals. Like I had one patient tell me, all she wants to do is be able to fit in the rides at Universal.
Oh my gosh. That's
and guess
awesome.
what?
And she's in them.
She's in them.
I love
She's lost over 100 pounds and she's in them. The first time that she did it, she called me and she said, Dr. Hill, I did it. We did it.
Aww.
And that warmed my heart.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it should be. And I think that people don't, understand it's not like always talking about the number. Like when you come in, it's not always talking about our numbers. We don't always talk about it. And I'll be honest, like you get access to your database and you can see all your stuff. Like Dr. Hill is fantastic about letting you track your performance and everything. Child, I do not track my performance.
That's okay, because I track it for you.
I know you do. And thank God. I remember where I'm at numbers wise a little bit, but then that's it, because I don't want to be so preoccupied with the scale, because I know I'm crazy. And so I need to not focus on that.
Agreed.
But that again is part of the process, and part of the great thing about working with you. It's you meet us wherever we are all the time. Okay, I have a couple of questions for you, kind of wrapping up, because I feel like you've gotten a lot about Dr. Hill's medical knowledge. As you can see, she knows what she's talking about, but she's quite a diva. Like she is. She's a babe. She's funny. So I'm going to ask you a couple quick fire questions, if you don't mind.
Quick fire questions.
Quick fire questions. Come on, let's see what you do.
Let's see what we got. Okay.
I'm going to start you off really small. So first, 2025, have you made a word for yourself right now, anything that's your mantra?
My mantra. Well, everybody always calls me Dr. Diva. So, I think I live up to that.
Yes.
Someone told me the other day, just last week, I come in here specifically to see what you're wearing.
Yes, because she's always fly. It'd be 7:00 in the morning and she's fly.
Makeup done, hair done.
Yes.
But, here's the thing. You come in, if you're not feeling well, why would you want to see a doctor that's not looking good? At least I then can, because we already know I'm smart. We already know I have the knowledge, right?
Yes.
But now it's like, okay, wow. Multiple people ask me, where'd you get that outfit?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? And
yeah.
I like it.
I totally agree. Because yes, you had on a bomb burgundy suit last week when I was here, and it was so fly. I was like, yes.
Thank you.
Always looking fly. Okay. What is your hype song? Like, what is a song right now that gets you hype?
A hype song?
Yes. I know you got a hype song. Yeah, like what are you listening to in the car?
Well, a lot of people aren't going to know this one, though, because it's Caribbean.
That's okay. What you got? You never know. I'm obsessed with Bad Bunny right now, so you never know.
Janice, what am I obsessed with
now? She's like, what music is she listening to?
What music am I listening to now? Marshall. I love Marshall. I love Patrice.
Okay.
Marshall.
ACH.
Marshall.
Okay. We're going to add this. And that's Janice. That is her administrative assistant, executive.
That's my right-hand woman.
Her soul.
My soul.
Yes.
My mini-me.
Yes. So
my everything.
You get the whole team when you come in, which I love. What is one thing that you would want someone to know about you that you haven't already said today?
I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
I'm a crier.
Yes.
Like big time.
I believe you. Because you act like a hard rock sometimes.
I act like I'm hardcore, but I'm really not.
Soft.
Cry at movies.
I love it. I know.
Like boohoo cry.
Aw, and see, that's what I love. Yeah, she's a big heart, you guys. I love that. Okay. And then what do you want your legacy to be?
That I've left an impact, a positive impact on your life.
You have. Like I said, I have to give you your flowers. I wouldn't be on this journey that I'm on without you.
Look at you, you're tearing up yourself. You see that?
I'm a sap. They know I'm a sap, but like it's very real and it's very rare. You know, I feel really great to be at this level of life where I have a good health team, and I'm so thankful to have you on my team.
And I'm thankful for you that you trust me to be part of that team.
You have changed my whole outlook. You are healing my crazy relationship with food. And so I love that. And so I definitely want as many people to support you and to take a chance. You never know. I mean, believe me, y'all, I was scared when I first started. Like I was just stuck in my ways. And, but once I opened up, once I started to see the progress, once I started to believe that I could do it, I'm like, okay, there's really no limits. And the fact that you really like take the time to care about what is going on outside of this. Because like I said, we didn't really talk about hormones, y'all, but we talk about hormones all the time. I'm like, I am paranoid city about being menopausal and it's slowing down my weight loss. But we talk about that.
We talk about it.
Yeah, because we're both going through it.
It's so true. And I'm like, girl, the 2 a.m. wake up is not working for me.
Not at all. You gave me that magnesium and I finally got some nice sleep.
The magnesium glycinate.
Yeah.
Is a game changer.
Absolutely. And I just told her, y'all, before I started, I was like, yeah, I started my tea, my little testosterone cream. So I'm excited. I worked out. I have energy. At the same time, I'm trying to like calm any fears that I'm going to grow a mustache. But, I know.
We have a mantra or we have a saying, we start low and go slow.
Yeah.
Because that's really important because if you have any side effects, we can easily reverse those rather than giving you way too much and then trying to backtrack.
Absolutely.
So, and I learned that in residency, especially doing geriatrics, because what you guys don't know about me is I'm double boarded, but I also did a geriatric fellowship at Advent Health, which was Florida Hospital at the time, but at Advent Health. And so I love my old people too.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I love my geriatrics.
I love that.
And so at JBH Medical, we have kind of like three arms. We have the JBH Boutique Care, which is our concierge medicine, right? Which is a membership-based portion of the practice where you get individualized patient care.
Right.
What we end up doing is we don't have a very large patient panel. So you get same day, next day appointments. In the same way that we do with our weight management, we do that with the health side. Right? Mm-hmm. And so you're not just a number.
Yeah.
You're not waiting in the lobby. We don't double book that. I know everything about you.
Yes. And I love that.
And we create our health plan together to keep you as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
For as long as possible.
Yes.
Then we have our weight management, JBH weight management, which we talked a lot about. Mm-hmm. And then we have our geriatric care. So you can actually age in place which is nice.
Nice. Yeah. And that's very rare because typically, you know, as someone with my mom, it's like she's got like 2 or 3 different places that she's got to go and they don't talk to each other.
They don't.
Yeah. It's very rare to be at this level where you actually have a chance to kind of share what you've got going on.
But you have to, because, you know, it's why we call them now patient care homes, right? Because you need to be able to talk to the specialist, or you need to be able to talk to the cardiologist. You need to be able to talk to, you know, I'm like the gatekeeper kind of like person, right?
Right.
And that makes your care, because I know a lot, but sometimes we have to refer, right? So I have a great body of specialists that I like to work with so we can have those conversations, those meaningful conversations.
Yeah, and it works out really well because, like I said, we kind of talk about different things that I'm doing. So I want to make sure that if, you know, we need to make adjustments, like
Absolutely.
when I was planning on having surgery, we had talked and like, we'll stop the medication before, so I'd be prepared. So it's very team oriented.
Very team oriented.
Yeah. Where can we support you? Like, how can we follow you? Are you on the social? She is on the social.
I am on the social.
Yes.
At JBH Med 1 is my Instagram. Facebook is JBH Medical.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. And I don't know what my TikTok is. Janice has to tell me that one.
Okay.
JBH what? Boutique Care?
Yes, JBH Boutique Care. And guys, don't worry. I'm going to put all of this in the show notes. But this is how we are. So I'm leaving all of this in here so that you guys can hear. This is like literally how we talk all the time.
And then our website is jbhmed1.com.
Yes.
Phone number 407-234-5282.
Yes. And I will definitely put everything in. So if you guys are interested to, you know, explore. Call.
Oh, yes. And we're also located in Baldwin Park.
Yes, I am. I'm actually recording with Dr. Hill together. We're doing it. That's normally, you know, not my MO, but we're here. I love it. And it's been like a little party. How have you felt?
I felt really comfortable with you.
Good. I was
a little concerned at first, but I feel very comfortable.
See, she thought I was going to get her, y'all, but she was going to be fine. So, ma'am, is there anything else that you would like to tell us? Anything else we need to know about you right now? Any events or anything going on that we should be aware of so that we can support?
March, we're going to have a tastings.
Oh, cool.
We're going to have a healthy tastings, because some of the foods you guys are very, very skeptical about trying. And I want to have a chef come in and actually do a tastings, so you know these things that you can actually make at home and they taste good. Okay.
I'm very curious about that.
But it's going to be great.
I'm excited.
And it's going to be right here in our location at 1376 Lake Baldwin Lane, Unit B. Yeah. Orlando, Florida, 32814. Okay. But we're looking at March. Okay. We're going to get that, and we'll get that out on our socials, and we'll have everything.
Awesome. I'll be more than happy to amplify it.
And check out our new website.
Yes, I can't wait. By the time you guys are listening to this will be live, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yes. So everything is together. So I want to thank you. This has been fun.
It has been fun.
I have really enjoyed myself.
We just had a conversation.
We totally did. I told her. So guys, I will talk to you again next week. And please take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.